From the WNCT Newsroom, I'm Courtney Courtright. The DMV offices are back up and running after last night's storms caused some issues with their computer system. A spokesperson for the DMV says the storm impacted their website and other systems. Crews were able to get the system back up and running by 9 this morning. The DMV says appointments will be rescheduled for those who had an appointment while the system was down. And we'll have all of today's news, weather, and sports starting at 5 o'clock on WNCT 9 on your side.
It's never too late to improve your smile. Crooked teeth can be hard to clean and can make you self-conscious about your smile. Live a life with a healthy mouth and that beautiful smile you've always dreamed of. Doctors Bowman, Paget, and Associates want you to go wireless this August for National Align Your Teeth Day. Invisalign can help you discreetly get the smile you've always wanted through the use of clear aligners. Go wireless with one of Greenville's top Invisalign providers to celebrate National Align Your Teeth Day. Doctors Bowman, Paget, and Associates will be celebrating National Align Your Teeth Day with incredible pricing and special payment options to give you the smile you've always wanted. Go online to bowmanpageant.com or call 252-752-1111 and schedule your free consultation today. Limited appointments will be available on Thursday, August 10th only for National Align Your Teeth Day. Go wireless with Doctors Bowman, Paget, and Associates and be confident in your smile.
I'm with Lee Spain of Spain Telecom. Lee, how is the telephone system business?
The phone system business is constantly changing, and Spain Telecom has evolved over the years with the technology.
What do you do for businesses in Eastern North Carolina?
Spain Telecom provides great phone system products. We provide on-premise or voice over IP. We also sell used systems to save our clients money. We also provide excellent customer service, and we do all of the wiring ourselves.
Lee, what do businesses want today?
They're looking for someone they can trust, and we always stand behind our sales and service. Some are looking for options for an affordable basic phone system, and some are looking for the system to be able to connect to their employees' mobile phones and have all the latest technology. We sell and service all kinds of phone systems.
Call Lee Spain and Spain Telecom today, 252-353-2006. That's 252-353-2006 and online at spain-telecom.com.
It's time to travel again, and it's time to enjoy the convenience of flying from Pitt Greenville Airport. Reservations are available now at AA.com. Whether you're flying for business or leisure, Pitt Greenville Airport and American Airlines can get you to Charlotte and then anywhere on the map. You can't beat the convenience of parking right next to the terminal and the short lines at ticketing and security. For your next trip, check out the great rates offered at AA.com and support your local Pitt Greenville Airport.
.3 The Game, WRHD-HD1, Farmville, Greenville. Powered by the Ritchie Law Firm Injury Lawyers. Go to GotBryan.com. That's GotBryan.com. It's 5 o'clock in Pirate Country, and it's time to get pumped up with the P-Man. Hit the door and hit the road. 94.3 The Game is going to get you home, and the P-Man's not holding back.
Yes! Yes! Pirates win! Pirates win!
Bring on the Patrick Johnson Show on 94.3 The Game.
Holy mackerel! Oh, my goodness!
The flagship station of the ECU Pirates.
Welcome in, everybody, on this Tuesday. We're back down at the Working Man's Beach, Surf City, America, and it is the Patrick Johnson Show. Nice to be with you today. We've got Jim Szoke going to be on with us. We've visited every week during the football season with Szoke for the last several years here on the PJ Show. Zoke's a friend. And, of course, Jim was named last week, Friday, in fact, as the interim voice of ECU football and the radio broadcasts for the 2023 season. Jim, of course, works with the Panthers radio network, so we're going to have Jim with us here a little bit later on this hour, and we're going to talk about the ECU play-by-play football gig, but we're also going to talk with Jim about the Panthers, who had their 10th day of preseason workouts, and the Jets are coming in for dual practices the next couple of days, and then those teams will play one another on Saturday at 4 in the afternoon on the Panthers radio network. We'll have it for you on 103.7 WTIB that day starting at 3. So all that is going on, and that is a conversation that's going to be coming your way, in just a little bit. Elsewhere, Pirate Report today. Have that for you next segment. Coach Houston talking to the media after the Pirates went through their first full pad practice. So a complete rundown of that coming up in just a little bit. Also, other news and notes going on, including one of the big stories that continues to persist is one that folks are keeping an eye on. Of course, there is now an update, according to this guy named Jim Williams. Jim is on Twitter or X at JW Media DC. And let's check Jim to make sure he's not a crackpot. He's the Washington-based CEO of LJC Media Consulting, 7-time Emmy Award-winning TV producer and director. Hosts a podcast. He's a columnist with Ford. So he's a guy that is, fairly linked in to the broadcast world. I've actually read some of Jim's posts about other things in the past. So he's got an update that he posted earlier today. Update: ACC wants Stanford and Cal. And the American would take Cal, Stanford, OSU, and WSU, Oregon State and Washington State. So he's saying the American would take all four. Where we had Brett McMurphy on yesterday, he called it merely a kind of a publicity stunt from the Americans' perspective. He referenced to Jim Williams, the Mountain West would like a merger, the Pac-4 adding more schools and staying a conference. Could be too late for that option, he tweets. The American seems to be the best option if the four want to stay together. And I think that's what it comes down to is Stanford going to want to stay in a situation with Oregon State and Washington State? I could see a situation where they would want to stay with Cal. Now, Cal's very nervous because it is the athletic department with the most debt of any in the country. So they're trying to figure out where do we get anything close to this type of money. There's analysis that the American deal, it was $7 million. It could be as much as 10. I think it depends on how the payout goes. I know there's been a little bit of working with the new institutions to help provide some relief with their entry fee and space it out over time and that kind of thing. Mike Oresco and the group have been good enough to do that with them. So that is something that I'm not as quick to dismiss the deal with all four to the American as Brett was yesterday. I don't know anything. I'm trying to look at this logically. And while I do think it is a bit of a long shot, if the four want to stay together and there's any way they feel like that they could maybe enhance, and the American feels like they could enhance their TV deal and they get a little more out of it, maybe so. But, Cal and Stanford aren't huge TV draws. The other two are far from TV draws. I mean, they are truly the secondary universities in their respective states in the Pacific Northwest, and that is by a wide margin. So we'll see if this plays out. I like the idea. I think it's being proactive, and you're not going to get an opportunity like this where you're not going to have to wait on anybody if you're Mike Oresco. So my hope is that this could come and materialize and be something that is done. We'll see, though. I think there's a lot left to happen with this particular deal. Now, obviously, the Mountain West wants them to stay, but the Pac-12 is not going to get the kind of money. They don't even have a TV deal at this point, so there's no money out there to be had in the Pac-12, and there's nobody that conference probably feels like they can add that would bring the type of value they get currently with UCLA, USC, Oregon, Washington, the Arizona institutions, Utah even, which has had a pretty big name in college football over the last few years. Report this morning from the Associated Press, the 4 remaining Pac-12 schools still aboard for next season. California, Stanford, Oregon State, and Washington State have options if they are looking for another conference. The Atlantic Coast Conference is exploring the possibility of adding the West Coast schools with an emphasis on California and Stanford in the San Francisco Bay Area. A person with knowledge of the discussions told the Associated Press the person spoke on the condition of anonymity because the ACC was not making its internal discussion public and the conversations were still in the early stages. Of course, ESPN reported this yesterday as well. A person said the ACC's presidents are expected to dig into the merits of expansion again today, and that the conference does not plan to draw out making a decision. The American, according to this AP article, also has interest in expanding west and adding all 4 Pac-12 teams. A person with direct knowledge of the league's internal discussion told the AP on the condition of anonymity. The AAC has schools as far west as the Dallas area. The UC Board of Regents scheduled a special closed session meeting for today to discuss Cal's conference affiliation. So that's UC Berkeley. The Pac-12 lost 5 members last week after a potential media rights contract with Apple left the schools seeking a better deal. Arizona State, and Utah announced they would join Colorado and the Big 12. Oregon and Washington decided to follow Southern Cal and UCLA to the Big 10 all next summer. The abrupt departures have raised the possibility the Pac-12, which dates back to 1916, will completely dissolve sooner rather than later. Washington State's president, Kirk Schultz, released a letter on Monday saying the Cougars believed the Pac-12 membership was ready to move forward with the Apple deal, only to be shocked by the decisions by Washington and Oregon to leave for the Big 10. A quote from Schultz: "I genuinely felt that on Friday morning we would sign the needed paperwork, finalize the deal with Apple, and move the Pac-12 towards a new and brighter future." Person with the Apple deal says that the details had not been made public, but it would generate $23 to $25 million per year per school, with escalator clauses based on subscribers. The deal would also provide no guarantees of games being sold to linear networks, but would have left the possibility open for that consideration. The Mountain West, according to this article, is the most logical spot for the Pac-12 schools to land geographically if they want to leave their former conference behind altogether. A person familiar with discussions in the league told the AP that the leaders have been strategizing the possibility of trying to add Pac-12 schools since last week. The Mountain West and AAC, so-called Group of 5 conferences, the article reads, we're adding Power 5 schools would be considered an upgrade in most cases. Schultz said that he and the athletic director, Pat Chun, have been in contact with multiple conferences and remain in regular contact with the remaining Pac-12 schools. The ACC, however, is a fellow Power 5 conference and seems like a strange option. It has 14 members, none further west than Louisville. And while cross-country travel would be challenging, Stanford and Cal do fit the profile in the league that has the likes of Duke, Wake Forest, and Boston College. The ACC has been exploring ways to bring more revenue to keep up with the Big Ten and Southeast Conference. And Florida State leaders have insisted the ACC must do something because what they say is an unfavorable media rights contract. So, wouldn't be your granddaddy's ACC by any stretch. I think if you're any of these schools, particularly Cal and Stanford, in order to have access to the college football playoff and still be at the so-called big boy table, the ACC may make the most sense. That leaves Oregon State and Washington State out in the cold. There's no way that the Mountain West is going to, unless it's a conference-wide deal, agree to any kind of merger with the Pac-12, and I don't know if the Apple deal would be on the table still if the Mountain West were to merge into the Pac-12 in some way, shape, or form. Geographically, it does make sense for at least those northwestern schools to go to the Mountain West, especially if Stanford and Cal are headed elsewhere. Again, I'm of the opinion the American, if you had to take all four, so be it. If they're fairly solidified, but I think the American getting to 20 should be the end game here. And you'd have that because you have enough schools, currently 14, in basketball and football, with Navy playing football only, Wichita State playing basketball only. And I do think those four schools would make a lot of sense. There is some out clauses too, and some time left on the deal for the Mountain West. But I would think if you bring those four on and you're Mike Oresco, you could probably look at the possibility of adding perhaps Boise State. Although Boise's got their own special deal with the Mountain West where they get more money and they control the rights to their home games. That's why Boise's always popping up, it seems, on ESPN late night during the football season. And then, of course, you have San Diego State there. I think that's the one that, to me, would be a really good institution to gather and give you that presence throughout California and along the West Coast. We'll see. Again, a lot of that with the Mountain West is just kind of spitballing, but if you can work through the deals with them, and ESPN wants it, that's the case. ESPN would have to go back to the negotiating table with whoever if those schools are added. I don't know how willing and quickly ESPN would be wanting to do that. And I hear all the stuff everybody's saying about, well, ESPN can't afford to pay all these rights fees that they have. Maybe not. But before they sell a single ad, they're getting money already from the subscribers. And I get people are cutting the cable, but that is not the phenomena that it was just 2 or 3 years ago. Especially with streamers upping their rates exponentially. So I do think that the ESPN deal is still pretty strong. And even if it does spin off away from Disney, it's still going to be strong. Where they're getting hammered on the rights deals are, in my opinion, with the NBA. I know that's a big part of their programming, but I don't know if that's, what that is as far as something that you can feel like you're getting a good ROI. Maybe. But, I mean, we don't discuss it here. I couldn't tell you the last time I watched an NBA game. And I think if you're under a certain age, you're not watching the NBA. And that certain age and above are the ones that have the disposable income. Anyway, food for thought, conversation for another day. But I still think the American is working actively. And I'm not as quick to dismiss this as McMurphy was yesterday. All right, let's take a TO. And when we return, we're going to do our Pirate Report. Pirates wearing pads for the first time today. And we'll have that for you on the other side of this timeout.
The #1 Drive Time Sports Show. The Patrick Johnson Show returns in minutes. 94.3 The Game.
I'm with my health insurance agent, Bill Jenkins. Bill is an employee benefits specialist and life insurance agent from Town Insurance. Bill, give us an update on Town Insurance here in North Carolina.
Town Insurance is a top insurance and employee benefits agency in North Carolina and ranks in the top 50s nationwide. We have primary offices in Greenville, Kinston, Wilmington, Raleigh, and now Charlotte. And Bill, what are areas Town Insurance specializes in? With our experienced account management team, we specialize in employee benefits, including group medical, dental, life, vision, disability, and voluntary options for employees. We compare these options with several of the best carriers in the market and assist businesses on benefit administration as well as employee education and enrollments. And how can a business best contact you to review their employee benefits program? Give us a call, 252-756-8300. Call today, as the best time is now to come to town.
The 38th Annual Winterville Watermelon Festival is coming Thursday through Sunday, August 24th through the 27th. The Winterville Watermelon Festival is Pitt County's premier annual multi-day event, and this year's festival is bringing you the Tams. And the one and only Marshall Tucker Band. The festival features the Watermelon Parade through town, the Watermelon Eating Contest, as well as carnival rides and midway games all weekend. Food vendors will be serving both watermelon treats and classic fare food such as funnel cakes, turkey legs, and corn dogs. Thursday is rides only night from 6 to 10. Two bands will hit the stage Friday night. Tell Me Lies, the Fleetwood Mac Experience, and the 60s and 70s power group, the Tams. And on Saturday, it's the Watermelon Jam with 3 bands on stage and the weekend headliner, the Marshall Tucker Band at 9 p.m. Can't you see? Watermelon Jam tickets are on sale now for just $25. For tickets and more info, head to watermelonfest.com. That's watermelonfest.com.
I'm with Lee Spain of Spain Telecom. Lee, how is the telephone system business?
The phone system business is constantly changing, and Spain Telecom has evolved over the years with the technology.
What do you do for businesses in Eastern North Carolina?
Spain Telecom provides great phone system products. We provide on-premise or voice over IP. We also sell used systems to save our clients money. We also provide excellent customer service, and we do all of the wiring ourselves.
Lee, what do businesses want today?
They're looking for someone they can trust, and we always stand behind our sales and service. Some are looking for options for an affordable basic phone system, and some are looking for the system to be able to connect to their employees' mobile phones and have all the latest technology. We sell and service all kinds of phone systems.
Call Lee Spain and Spain Telecom today, 252-353-2006. That's 252-353-2006 and online at spain-telecom.com.
And now, Patrick Johnson with today's Pirate Report on the flagship station of the ECU Pirates, 94.3 The Game.
Pirate football out today for its first practice in pads. And it was the initial full pad practice. So far, 6 practices in the books, 2 in shorts, 4 more in shells today, the 7th. Pirates beginning its preparation in earnest for the first of 2 scheduled scrimmages. They'll have one Saturday morning at Dowdy-Ficklin Stadium. This is Coach Houston talking about the first day in pads. This is cut 1.
Great first day in pads. It was good to finally get out there and have the first real live contact of the year. I thought we had an outstanding practice, and both sides had their moments today during practice, and but I love the intensity level. I loved the positive enthusiasm on both sidelines. I loved the way they competed. Just so many positives from today's practice. I thought we had a lot more players kind of come along today. Yesterday I thought I said there was a separation yesterday, and you had part of the team that really excelled and part of them that didn't handle it very well. I thought today you had the bulk of the roster that really went out there and competed at a high level today. So going to be great film to watch this afternoon. You feel good coming off the practice field. When you've had a first day of full contact like that, and excited for this afternoon's film and tomorrow's practice.
That is the assessment today from Coach Houston, and the offense and defense concluded things today with a kind of a session where they went at it with one another. The last 30 minutes of the practice included that 20-minute offense versus defense session, which followed goal line and field goal periods for the Pirates. Rajay Harris, how did he perform today, the first day in full pads? Here's Coach Houston's assessment.
He's back out there full go now, and today was an emotional day for him. He had a great day. I mean, his intensity level throughout the day was fantastic, but certainly, he is a leader on this team and in this program, and what he says carries a lot of weight, and so that kind of leadership there early in practice kind of set the tone for everything.
Coach also talking about others that stood out the first day in pads.
Devin King had a huge tackle, forced a fumble during an inside run against a very good running back, and we were kind of giving him a hard time in film yesterday that we didn't know if he could tackle that kid or not. He sure came through right there, so that was good to see. There was so much going on. B.J. Davis had a big play during the goal line short yardage period at the end of practice, a tackle for a loss. I'm sure we had several of those linemen in there. Chad Stevens was very disruptive today. He kind of, this is kind of his deal. He lives for days like this. So many, but look forward to watching the film and being able to spotlight some others.
Mike Houston, when asked about how far Jari Patterson has come.
Nothing has been given to that kid. Anything that he has gotten has been earned. He has earned the respect of his teammates and his coaches, and all of us are so excited for him. But I think it says a lot about just who he is.
The wide receiver scout team award guy last year, and is one that is emerging on the scene, and the Pirates need some receivers to emerge on the scene. Coach Houston talked about he loved how the team had a bounce-back day at practice today.
I love that about preseason camp. I got on to him a little bit last night because, again, you didn't have the entire roster that came out and competed at the level we needed to yesterday. And so to have a practice like that today, there's a ton of mistakes. There's guys that screwed up. But the competition, the intensity was exactly where you want it for the first day of pads. And so it's just a very enjoyable practice to be a part of. And it's going to be exceptional film to teach from and learn from and take that next step towards our scrimmage on Saturday.
Yep, we'll run through the Pirates' schedule when we wrap things up here. Coach Houston, on how everything's been doing as far as the return game with punts and kicks.
Punt return, Josh Murphy, Brock Spalding, Javius Bond, Jalen Johnson. Those are probably the top four. All four of them are doing really well. Kick return, Javius and Brock are both involved over there. Gerald Green, Marlon Gunn, Jari, program for Rajay over there. So, you've got quite a few at both spots. I think, right now we have multiple that we feel really good about. I don't think the competition is anywhere near over yet, but it's good that I feel like we got a lot of good options.
More from Coach Houston, who talked about Hampton Ergel earning his job as a starter.
You've got two guys that are, former head coaches, former coordinators, very experienced, really good ball coaches. Brent and I have a long history. I've known Shane just from playing against him, a good bit over the years. And so both of them have a great respect for him. They're going to elevate our program. They're both going to bring different things to that room, which I think is really good. Both of them have a little bit different backgrounds, but you can take a lot from both of them. And they're just, genuinely, awesome, high character human beings. And so I think they're an asset to our community also.
All right, that was cut 8 when Coach was asked about Shane Montgomery and Brent Thompson. Let's see, Clark, do we have cut 7 on Hampton Ergel? If we do, go ahead and hit that here. If we do in 3, 2.
Hampton is carrying himself like a starter, and that's another kid. Came here as a walk-on, was on the scout team for multiple years, finally traveled, and then all of a sudden last year had a chance to start and has taken advantage of that. So another kid that's done a great job of earning, his position.
All right. So that is where we are there with that. The Pirates, by the way, as far as the remainder of the week, they'll be back in Shells tomorrow. They'll have another full pad practice Thursday, helmets for Friday, and then the first scrimmage of camp Saturday inside of Dowdy Ficklin Stadium. We'll have our reporters there Thursday for the summary of what happened with the Thursday full practice, and then obviously Saturday we'll have folks out there as well to get the aftermath and thoughts on the scrimmage. Steve and Igo will be out there as well. A couple more with Mike Houston we didn't get to yesterday. Did we get to the Javius Bond thing, Clark? That was 12 seconds. It seems like we did. So
yes, I think we did.
Okay, so well, I tell you what, just in case, let's play it again. This is Coach from the weekend talking about the running back Javius Bond.
I care about East Carolina University, and I want us to be in the best possible situation in the college football landscape as possible. And so anything that I have control over, I'm going to try to do the very best I can to make sure that that's what we're doing. So all I know is probably in 3 or 4 years, I have no idea what college football is going to look like. But East Carolina is going to be a part of it.
So that was number 11, I guess, where he was maybe asked about.
Yeah.
Okay. He was asked about the all the shifting that was going. This was Saturday when he made that comment. All right. Well, you got 10 ready. Let's do that where he talks about the linebacking room.
I think Taylor Jackson, Mike Edwards is, those two are playing very, very well. BJ is doing a lot of good stuff. The competition with Taquan and Zakai. There's those guys are doing a good job. The freshmen. They're going to be really, really good players in time, but they look like freshmen. So I feel really good about that group that I just mentioned right there, though.
And do you have the Boyd one, number 9 from yesterday, about the running back, Javius Boyd, the freshman?
Let me get a hot second on that.
Okay. If not, I do think we played it yesterday, but I'm not 100% sure. All right. No problem. That's today's Pirate Report. I tell you what, why don't we take a timeout? We have coming up the interim voice of ECU football for the year 2023 on radio, our pal Jim Szoke from the Panthers radio network. Lots to talk about with Szoke. And we will talk Panthers about to enter their joint practices with the Jets and Jim's new role here in Greenville after this timeout. We're from Surf City this week on the Patrick Johnson Show.
I always listen. Check out the Adam Gold Show, now weekdays from 1 to 3 on 94.3 The Game.
Download the app.
Stick around. The P-Man returns in minutes.
Greeting friends of Eastern North Carolina. If you're looking for a great place to work with competitive pay and a multitude of advanced opportunities, Pitt County Schools is hiring. We employ over 3,500 people, and we're one of the largest employers in Pitt County. We are currently seeking teachers, bus drivers, school nutrition personnel, facilities staff, custodians, clerical staff, and more. We offer advanced leadership opportunities to our educators and competitive pay for our skilled labor force. If you want to be part of a thriving school system that focuses on educating students, growing our employees, and promoting positive mental and physical health habits, we encourage you to become a part of our Pitt County Schools family to help ensure success for the future of Eastern North Carolina. To fill out an application, visit our website today at pittschools.org. That's pittschools.org. And remember, education is truly a team effort. Pitt County Schools. Live and lead.
When I say local Greenville restaurant, great food, great service, great steaks, great prime rib, and the most awesome cakes you've ever tasted, what comes to your mind? That one was easy, right? It's the Seahorse, of course. I could have also added great daily lunch specials, including the best chicken pastry you've ever tasted. In fact, you know what? This is making me so hungry, I'm headed to the Seahorse right now. See you there? The Seahorse Restaurant on Stantonsburg Road, across from the hospital, the home of Daddy's Steaks and Mama's Cakes.
Hello, Eastern North Carolina. Matt Murchison here at Greenville Nissan. I'm along with Scotty Turner. Hey, Matt. Good to see you, bud. Good to see you. Yeah, we're going to talk about the Nissan Sentra. That's right. You're talking about a car that's really grown up through the year.
Not only did it grow up, it's so much larger than it used to be. It's actually larger than a 5 Series BMW, and it's actually larger than the 2018 Nissan Altima. So in your mind, if you're thinking Sentra's small, it's not. It's not at all. They made some really good aesthetic changes on the outside, but we already know it has all those safety features, lane departure, blind spot, parking sensing. You've got your front collision, your automatic emergency braking, your Android Apple CarPlay.
Yep, that's right.
Folks, also keep in mind we offer a lifetime engine for life.
That's right.
Here at Greenville Nissan. We don't say that enough, but we do that with all of our vehicles that are brand new in stock.
That's right. You know, we got a great lease special starting on the Sentra right now. We got 0 down, $295 a month right now. Take it while it's happening right now because those cars are going fast. Check us out at greenvillenissan.com and Greenville Nissan, where we drive to serve.
Have you had a colonoscopy? If you're between the ages of 45 and 75, you need to be screened regularly for colorectal cancer. Dr. Philip Goldstein at Carolina Digestive Diseases and Endoscopy Center wants to keep you healthy. Dr. Goldstein provides treatment and quality care for all GI needs. Just call the office at 252-758-8181. Appointments are always available within 5 business days.
Hi, this is Dr. Philip Goldstein reminding you that a colonoscopy can save your life. Visit our website, cddgastro.com, and come see us at Carolina Digestive Diseases.
Download the new IBX Media app now and get the show for your ears and eyes.
Doesn't it look great on me?
This is the Patrick Johnson Show on 94.3 The Game.
Here in the year 2023, the ECU radio voice for Pirate football will be our friend, Jim Szoke from the Panthers Radio Network. And Szoke is with us on the phone. We already are going to talk to him every week, so this really just makes it that much better. I think when we get in season, Jim, it'll be more of a Thursday if that works for you. But, it just worked out today because you were the hot name that everybody wanted to talk to. So thank you for hopping on with us, and congratulations.
Yeah, we've been doing this for years already, and now just the rest of Greenville is going to be able to catch on to this. But, yeah, I'm excited. Obviously, first of all, thank you. And been fun going back and forth with some of the ECU fans and the little bit of time we've had so far. And just back from Panthers practice. Then I watched the Mike Houston press conference from post-practice today. And it's a fun time of year. It's all good work and fun stuff going on. We've got the Jets coming to town the next 2 days for joint practice sessions in Spartanburg to wrap up Camp Wofford, as we call it down there, before the first Panthers preseason game Saturday against the Jets. So this week was just door-to-door, filled up prior to, obviously, the news that broke with coming on board with the ECU crew. And then I'll be out there next week, so I'll come visit next week. Practice, I've been given countless barbecue suggestions and so forth.
Yeah.
And a very polarizing topic, I've learned. A lot of bees barbecue, but others who are promoting other places. So all I can say is it's a long season, and we'll just take it one meal at a time.
I think you should take it one meal at a time. The barbecue talk is even more polarizing than door colors. I'm just warning you. There's
a lot going on.
Yes.
There's a lot going on.
Szoke, by the way, has an awesome flag outside of his home in this giant gated community he lives in Charlotte. So I think that's great, by the way.
Yeah, we got the pirate flag up. You think we could focus on that, but some people noticed I had a blue door. I didn't think to paint my door in the 36 hours since it was the announcement had happened. And it was not painted a particular color to represent a school. It was just a blue door. But here we go. So we'll get that taken care of when I get a minute. I had to get back from Spartanburg. I'll go to Lowe's just as quick as I can.
I sent you a picture of our door at our home. And it's coral.
What color would you call that?
It's coral, yeah. And here's my defense of that. Although I think it looks very good with our siding and the stonework, but I say my wife handled all this, and she did. It was her project. I paid for it, but it was her project.
I don't pick the house colors either, so the blue door also not my doing. Just a heads up, I do drive a very neutral machine, not machine, but it's a gunmetal gray. Kind of a machine gray. So it's a gunmetal gray car. So it would fit, really, I think, any program. So I think, in this case, the gray should not offend.
I don't know if there's a team with gunmetal gray and coral in their color scheme out there. Maybe the Marlins might have a little coral, maybe?
Well, I'll try not to drive my Toyota through your door, and that way we'll never have that combination.
Yeah. That would be great. That would be great.
That'd be a horrible parking job on my part if I did.
Yeah, a lot to talk about with the Panthers, and we are going to get to that. But I just want to ask you, because this is the thing I'm being asked by fans and friends, is how is Szoke going to do both? And I say, well, there are airplanes. So that helps. That helps. But it is going to be a little bit of a balancing act to make both broadcasts in a weekend. You and Gene Deckerhoff and our friend Wes Durham and others. I think the guy at Cincinnati. So you're in good company. You're in that company now. The Panthers play-by-play guy does that to a degree, too. So
Nate Schroff does ESPN college games. There's a lot of guys like that. They're like Dave Pasch, who does the Arizona Cardinals. You see him all the time doing ESPN games. So, yeah, there are obviously going to be some times where it's a little more challenging than others, and I might have to take one for the team, so to speak, and get home at the middle of the night, driving back and that kind of thing. But The nice thing is, it's going to be 12 games plus a bowl game, so 13 games. And that's kind of where we start. And why, again, this is obviously, as we all know, coming together close to the start of the season. So there are things like we do Panther Talk. You guys have your coaches show, some things that are not possible to do back and forth. But definitely look forward to getting out there to practice next week. And we actually have some meetings coming up via Zoom this week. So we're going to have some production meetings this week, be out there to meet everybody Tuesday. And then we will formulate a plan as to travel, as to how to go about the weekly. Beyond the game, obviously, there's production and interviews and all that kind of stuff that goes into the pregame and all that kind of stuff. So, we'll get it done. The work will get done. It's going to sound great. We're all going to be experts on Pirate football, as I know all the listeners are so smart about it. And look forward to a great season. Obviously, there'll be a lot of changeover on the roster, as is the customary thing for pretty much any college program these days. But it's going to be fun, and it's going to sound great once we get going.
Jim Szoke, Panthers Radio Network, and this season the voice of ECU football, the games you'll hear on 107.9 WNCT and here on 94.3 The Game. The other thing, Jim, you've been doing this a little while as far as structuring and putting together a broadcast. So I'm sure that while we'll hear some things that we're accustomed to as fans, maybe some freshening up or a new perspective could be brought in and NFL-like in a lot of things, because I always believe, and I know you have a big hand in this, I think the Panthers have as slick a game day and pregame show as anybody out there.
I think it'd be great to share ideas, and there's a lot that that I'm looking forward to hearing how things have been done with the Pirates Radio Network, but also some things that we could talk about that we do that might be things to think about, and again, open to, however things need to be put together, whatever combination, keep it as it is, bring new ideas, but whatever. But the thing is, to me, it's always about the people. So everybody's going to have their own personality. And, obviously such reverence for Jeff Charles. I mean, it's just iconic. And so what a difficult and sad thing to go through now with his passing, that there's a changing of what's going to be on the air as far as the sound of the game and things he's said and, things that people are used to hearing. And that's just, it's just human nature. So we appreciate the fact that that's going to be different no matter who was going to be in that role. And I've been here with the Panthers for 29 years. And so I certainly know what it's like to be somewhere for a long time, but also now in situations like this, having a niche come in with us, me coming in there, that there are times where, things are all interim. If you really think about it in some ways, we're all working a job for a period of time one way or another. So it'll be fun, fresh and exciting. It'll be new. And it's a fun program, first of all, and you got a great coach and obviously some really talented players. Lots changing in college football in the landscape with the conference realignments, obviously affecting the American Conference. To me, it's going to be really, really interesting to see. And what better way than to start to go to the Big House September 2nd at number 2 ranked Michigan based on the coaches poll, and maybe go shock the world there. It's been done before, so I'd love to see ECU pull that off.
And you, I know, as you noted, have been with the Panthers for almost 3 decades, and you probably on Saturdays have gotten to games as a fan. I know you've worked some broadcasts here and there when time allowed and opportunity presented itself. Ever been to Michigan at any point?
So I've not been there for a game. So I went to college in Ohio at Bowling Green State University, which is in Northwest Ohio. And it's like an hour away from Ann Arbor. So made a couple of visits there just to the campus and to walk around to see the stadium. Have not been there for a football game. So I think it's going to be terrific. I think it's going to be what an incredible college atmosphere to go into and test yourself against the best. So have not been there for a game. Growing up in Ohio, was a Buckeyes fan, even though I went to Bowling Green, but as a kid all the way through now, I've always followed the Buckeyes program. So I have a built-in dislike for Michigan. So it makes this game doubly easy for me to be excited about, and the rooting interest, obviously, with ECU. So I think it's going to be just a great atmosphere and a lot of fun. And I would love to see the Pirates go up there and just become headline news. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we will see. App's made a reputation off of that. All these years later, it's still brought up. So be huge for Mike Houston and the Pirates to do that. Jim Szoke, who will be heard this weekend on our sister station, Talk 103.7 WTIB. We've had the Panthers on that station for years and years and years in Eastern North Carolina. And Szoke will be involved in the broadcast this Saturday as the Panthers take on the Jets. Szoke, kind of some fine-tuning today before the joint practices with the Jets. And what did you observe there? Justin Houston, kind of a new face reporting today.
Yeah, he spoke afterwards, and I think people are excited about him. He's such a good football player. He's a veteran, 34 years old, but I think a lot of gas left in the tank there. 4-time Pro Bowl player who, as Frank Reich said after practice today, will be a rotational player that could play more if they needed him to. And maybe there'll be certain games and spots where you don't want to bring him off the field, but it's a long season, as he says. You don't want to wear him down immediately. So they've been looking for that complimentary bookend for Brian Burns, the Pro Bowl player coming off a great season, 12.5 sacks last year. And so this defense really has got a lot of really key veteran guys on it right now. This is the team that's built to compete in the NFC South right away this year, even though they have a rookie quarterback, both on offense and defense. There's a lot of veteran players and a lot of talent on this team. And it comes back to, I think, a really good coaching staff that knows how to kind of corral all that. So I think, for them, they're going to be a factor right away. And, they look at this division as being, is not what it used to be. And you start with 2 games in the division. You start out with Atlanta on the road, home for New Orleans on Monday night. So even though you got a rookie quarterback, your best chance to make the postseason is to win the NFC South. You got 2 division games coming up right out of the gate. So there's a certain amount of, you got to get into it. There's a process and all that, but sure would be nice to come out with a couple of division wins because, as we all know, this count double with a win for you and a loss for them if you can do it.
Yeah. Demir Bird, I guess, was injured today or at least in the last couple of days, or was that today he suffered the injury?
Today, yeah. Unfortunately, had a hamstring injury there. It's going to keep him out for a number of weeks. And so that's too bad. It's a deep position for the Panthers. I'll be honest with you. Demir, former Gamecock, competing for a job because of the depth they have with drafting Jonathan Mingo, Terrace Marshall back for a third year, and they're behind Adam Thielen and DJ Chark. To me, has probably been he had a training camp MVP, probably DJ Chark, the way he's made this daily 1 or 2 spectacular catches every single day down at training camp. So lucky for the Panthers, they've got a lot of depth there. And then Laviska Shenault, who will also see some time in the backfield at running back, does not want to be just a running back. He really does want to continue as a wide receiver. You'll see him in a lot of ways.
We got Jim Szoke with the Panthers Radio Network and the voice of Pirate football this season upcoming. You'll hear Jim here a lot on 94.3 The Game, both as a guest but also as his role of covering the Pirates this year. Jim's a longtime friend, so I couldn't be happier for him, and I know he'll do a great job. Hey, Szoke, with these dual practices, they've become in vogue in the last 5 to 7 years. It seems more league-wide. I know occasionally in years past teams would do them, but it just seems like now that's sort of the thing that the NFL does. You see a lot more of it, or at least there's a lot more coverage of it. Maybe that's the case. Still, what will these next 2 days in practice be like? In some ways, it's a lot more can be determined than in the game Saturday.
Yeah, because, of course, a game is random. You never know what situations will present themselves, which to some degree you need to practice that, and that'll happen on Saturday. But this allows, coaches to really get looks at certain players and certain situations and matchups agreed upon between the Jets and the Panthers. And it could be a period of goal line, a period of third down, a period of just, whatever contact drills they want to do, and there'll be some contact with that. So tomorrow will be the heavier of the 2 practice days. Thursday a little bit lighter, of course, heading into the Saturday preseason game. So I think tomorrow will be the really interesting day. But, just a chance to line up and to play against a team where, you don't know them. I mean, it's one thing when you're out there and you're getting working against your own teammates, but there's a certain competitiveness that amps up, obviously, even in a practice when it's against another team. And in a lot of ways, I think for these coaches, they just love it. And if they all want to, hey, let's run that again. Let's do 3 more minutes of this drill, whatever the case may be. So it gives them a chance to kind of do some scripted things and then just, work on things where both teams are getting something out of it and evaluating their players and trying to run some things. And just like a preseason game, you're not going to give too much away. But I think it's going to be really good work. And it has really replaced a lot of the preseason work. I would not be surprised to not see Aaron Rodgers at all in this game. I don't know if we'll see him in the preseason. In Green Bay, he didn't play in the preseason. Because he's with a new team, you might see him out there in some form in the next 3 preseason games, for a series or 2, but it's going to be very safe work if he does. So I wouldn't have high expectations that Rodgers will play. If he does, maybe a series. I'd almost be surprised if he even does that much here at the game on Saturday, though.
Jim, how's Bryce Young looking?
I think he looks, like any player coming in, he's going to look good and then he's going to make a mistake. And that's just being realistic. And that's what he's been. But he handles it well. And I think he bounces back quickly when something happens. There's typically like an interception during the course of a practice, something like that. Credit to the defense at times for doing that. Sometimes, things are also thrown where, maybe the receiver's not in the route or the space you think he's going to be in. So I think by and large, the coaches are pleased with him. And that's my confidence level is you've got a head coach who's a former longtime NFL quarterback, 14 years in Frank Reich. You got Josh McCown, who's just wrapped up a long playing career, like 16 years in the league as his quarterbacks coach, Thomas Brown from the Rams. You've got Jim Caldwell from Wake Forest. All these guys, all these eyeballs on it. And if they all feel good about where he is and his progress is, those are the experts, and I believe them. So I think they're very pleased with where he is and his progression right now.
Who's emerged as some of his receiver targets?
Chark has really been, like, the chemistry has been with him more than anybody else so far. I believe as the season goes on, it's going to be, talk about running back by committee, I think it's going to be receiver by committee because it's going to also be Hayden Hurst because that's very typical of what Frank Reich does is above the tight ends a lot. We've not had that over the last couple of years. So I would expect decent numbers from Hayden Hurst this year and the other tight ends. Miles Sanders wasn't used as hardly any of a pass catcher last year in Philadelphia, but he did earlier in his career. I think we'll see more of Miles Sanders compared to what he did in Philadelphia as a Panther, catching the ball out of the backfield. And then all the receivers I mentioned, Adam Thielen, it's a nice complementary group. Thielen, the professional route runner, great hands. DJ Chark, a speed guy that can be used in a lot of different ways. The bigger-bodied, younger physical guys like Mingo and Terrace Marshall. So it's a nice group that maybe nobody out of that goes over 1,000 yards, but I think you'll have a nice group of guys that could be there for him.
So, will Rodgers be with he will, I would guess, be with the team, right? Any word on that? Okay. So
Yeah, he'll be there. I think he'll be active during these joint practice, especially tomorrow's joint practice.
Right.
I think that's when he'll get the work in. My thought is more like the preseason game is typically in his past has not been where he gets out there.
Well, he almost broke his toe, according to reports this weekend. So one of their rushers struck him on his pinky toe. And
it's back to the cave, for another, time in the dark.
So will you all get a look at Rodgers potentially tomorrow and a chance possibly to talk with him?
We'll get a look at seeing him play, of course, in practice. Whether I don't know what the Jets PR team has planned as far as his availability is. I think people would expect that. So I think beyond the fact that Hard Knocks is here, there's going to be national coverage. I'm sure ESPN, NFL Network, a lot of those will be here.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I would think they would probably make him available, would be my guess.
All right. If Szoke, we asked you this last week, I think. If you get the question, what are you going with?
Question for Aaron Rodgers would be why? Why, Aaron? Just all of it. Just why? This guy was just like, he just had it all going, was beloved in Green Bay, and I just feel like he overanalyzes everything. So at one time he seemed like that cool RELAX, relax, everything's good, and now it just feels like it's like all this chaos and this trauma on and off the field with him and so forth. So hopefully for him, he's in a happy spot. So we'll see. So my question would be, Aaron, why? Your answer, please. Just why?
Well, let's hope the lights stay on.
Just all of it.
Let's hope the lights stay on Saturday. Well, there's no chance for the lights to go out necessarily Saturday. If they do, so be it. But
if they do go out, we start at 4 o'clock. So
right, I was going to say
okay.
you'll be. That's what I meant. You're going to be fine, so it doesn't matter. But there you go. All right, Jim. Well, great to talk to you as always, and I'm sure we'll get up with you next week on a day. But maybe I don't know what the schedule is Tuesday. We'll talk, but we might try to arrange for you to come by the studios or something Tuesday. We'll see.
Okay, well, I'll be in town, so we'll whatever fits Patrick Johnson's busy schedule, we'll make it happen.
There you go. That's what I like to hear. Make sure that you tell other people that's how they should answer. All right, Jim Szoke, thank you very much, and we'll talk to you soon.
You bet. Thank you, Patrick.
Yep, there he goes, Jim Szoke with us. Okay, a timeout, and when we come back, a third team has emerged as a possibility to potentially join Stanford and Cal in the ACC. and it's one that Pirate fans are fairly familiar with. We'll tell you about it next.
Facebook, Twitter, and more, plus listen or watch us live now on the new IBX Media app.
I love the app. Download the app.
Get it now in the App Store or Google Play. Patrick Johnson and the rest of the guys are back in minutes.
Chico's Mexican Restaurant is where the fiesta never ends. Grab your amigos and head to Chico's every Wednesday for shrimp tacos for $11.99. Plus Wednesdays means all Mexican imports for just $2.99. Thursdays, enjoy your favorite beef, chicken, or vegetable fajitas for only $11.99. For Mexican food and fun, it's got to be Chico's Mexican Restaurant in downtown Greenville and online at chicosrestaurant.com. Chico's, where the fiesta never ends.
Does your knee pain keep getting worse? How about that pain in your shoulder or hip or back? Don't let them tell you steroids and surgery are your only option. Take my advice now. Call QC Kinetics. Patrick Johnson here. QC Kinetics can make that pain go away with all natural advanced regenerative medicine. They're helping people here every day with these amazing natural treatments that restore and repair damaged joint tissue. Regenerative medicine uses concentrated healing agents from your own body to stimulate that damaged tissue in your joints so they can work like they're supposed to. And what's best? Zero downtime. QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in this exciting medical breakthrough. Patients are getting real lasting results and are saying no to surgery and drugs right here in Greenville. If you have pain due to injury or arthritis, this is a remarkable option that you need to check out. And the consultation, get this, it's free. Call QC Kinetics now, 252-765-PAIN. That's 252-765-PAIN.
Anson Belt & Buckle offers a micro-adjustable, holeless belt, giving you the perfect fit every time. As an ECU alumni-owned business since 2009, Anson Belt is proud to be the official belt of East Carolina Athletics. Looking for a new belt for yourself or a special pirate? Visit AnsonBelt.com to see why over 30,000 customers have given their Anson Belt a 5-star review. With dozens of materials to choose from and thousands of possible combinations, you'll find the belt for every occasion, especially game day, at AnsonBelt.com.
At U.S. Cellular, you can get a new phone for $600 off, no trade-in needed, which means you don't have to trade in your old phone for a new one. That must sound really good to you, guy with a junk drawer.
I'm just going to sell it to my sister.
That's a twist.
Who am I kidding? It's going right in the junk drawer.
Get $600 off any phone, no trade-in needed. U.S. Cellular, built for us. Terms apply. Visit uscellular.com for details.
Summertime is here. It's a great time to get outside and enjoy the warmer weather and longer days. Let the team at Cellular Warehouse help you start enjoying these days by eliminating the 2 to 3 hour wait in the local store. They come right to your home or office and handle all of your cellular needs. Best of all, their front door service is free of charge. Call Toby Williams today at 252-799-7051 and let his team start making life easy again. That's 252-799-7051. Cellular Warehouse, your local U.S. Cellular authorized agent.
And now, the stunning conclusion of the show. It's the P-Man here on 94.3 The Game.
All right, welcome back. So we told you before the break, after we talked to Szoke, that there is a new team that has emerged in the conversations with the ACC, possibly adding Stanford and Cal. Our guy Ross Dellinger, always available. I'm always available. I'm always here. Is SMU. Ross reports a meeting of league presidents on Tuesday. Executives explored the possibility of adding all 3 universities or inviting only Pac-12's 2 members. That's again Stanford and Cal. Administrators are expected to continue examining the expansion options and will review financial models for both scenarios, adding 3 or adding just 2. For more than a year now, SMU has held various degrees of dialogue with several leagues in the pursuit to join a power league, including the Big 12, the Pac-12, and the ACC. A small private school, SMU resides in the populous metro of Dallas, talent-rich football state. The article reads, university would arrive at a reduced rate, employing a rich donor base and healthy desire to advance to the Power 4 level. So they've already started that as the Power 4. University is open to foregoing conference distribution pay for its first several years in the new league. SMU officials held similar conversations with Pac-12 administrators. It would make some sense if they decided to do that, the ACC, only because it would at least give you a team. Because right now the furthest team west is Louisville. And it would give you some members a little further west to deal with Stanford and Cal. And again, this is the ACC's attempt just to keep up with the Big Ten and SEC as best they can. Interesting stuff. All right, thanks to Jim Szoke for being with us. We'll be back in the morning on Talk of the Town. Talk 103.7, Talk 96.3 at 7 in the morning. Back here tomorrow on the Patrick Johnson Show. Talk a little golf with Brian Mull here from Mason Garcia and Darius Wood. Thanks to Clark Willis. We'll catch you tomorrow on the PJ Show.
Greenville's best restaurant for dinner, weekend brunch, and spirits is Seared Chop House on Fire Tower Road. Seared Chop House is the place to go for choice cuts of USDA meats, excellent seafood, and an impressive selection of wine.